Hey guys, Ace here. I'm back at my home in the Bay. Stayed over at the country home for about a week. I couldn't take it anymore. Not that it's not quiet and peaceful here. I wanted to take a minute and talk about the Payment Protection Program. I myself have not had much luck with what's going on, and I'm getting a lot of questions from friends and associates, what has been going on with everything. And I have a few businesses, some with smaller employee payroll, some with larger. And I've seen that the big banks, Bank of America turned me down right away. They did not even consider, because I didn't have a checking account with them. I have multiple lines of credit with them and online checking, but they just looked for something to turn me down. A lot of people are complaining about Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo, if you guys remember, with the whole fake account debacle that they dealt with, Wells Fargo is capped on assets that they can have under their belt to like 1.9 million. This is information readily available. I have nothing against Wells Fargo. I'm just asserting information that's available. So they only are allowed less funds to disperse every time, so they're having a bit of trouble there. And what I have done to work for me is I'm in construction as well, so I have multiple lines of credit with smaller banks across the states. A few of the banks that were able to accept my applications were, smaller banks in Indiana and Alabama. So if I know our own banks are turning us down here in California, and the big banks, so I would definitely not try to go the route of fintech companies, those high interest financial companies. That's just not my thing. I don't deal with those. So if you could reach out to some smaller bank, I think that's your best route to even get your application in, because I'm hearing all over LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook on, business groups that people can't even get their applications in. And I, as organized I am, I've had my applications ready to go day one, March 28th. I already knew, this is what I do. And I had all the paperwork. I'm so organized. I dropped it, with the SBA, EIDL. And so, yeah, a lot of people, this is week 2, and, they don't even have their applications in. While this is happening, you have your applications in, you want to put in as much effort to try to preserve your own business. I know it's hard. We have bills piling up, but the most you can do, I can't put all the solutions in the video, but if you comment below, I could, I would love to consult with you one-on-one. I'm not charging anything, but I will tell you, what you can do to just preserve yourself, cut all the costs, and to come out on the other end of the COVID-19 pandemic that we're, all dealing with. So yeah, do apply, but the way I'm doing it, I've applied and I've just kind of like put things, aside. Now my focus is to just focus on the business and see where I can, cut back and just preserve it. Another thing I did wanted to discuss was a lot of landlords should be abating your rents, and if some are not abating, they really don't have much to come at you given the circumstances everything is in. At least California law, the landlords are the one who has to mitigate all costs, of any lease cancellation. Hopefully, none of us end up in those scenarios. I do have smaller cafes myself. Also, fintech companies, I've heard, are actually rejecting smaller payroll amounts. If you're applying with 10,000 or 15,000, they're interested in companies that are running high payrolls. So what I've done is I'm focusing on my payroll with my construction site, where it tops about 100,000. So I'm trying to get, even money on that, and I'll use those funds. If I have to pay it back, I know I will not be forgiven, but at least I'll use some of those funds in other businesses and sustain them. My goal is to come out on the other end of this. Let me know your thoughts. What are you thinking? And I think I should go get some food. Totally forgot to stock up on anything. And yeah, anything else that I can help anybody out with, just reach out and let me know what all your thoughts are. Thank you guys. Have a nice day.